Hey everyone, good morning. Fatty here from Pack-a-Punch Traders. Just want to make a quick video lesson going over a couple of the morning plays. Kind of an active morning, past hour and a half or so. I'm 2 for 2. I'll go over my plays. Didn't execute them totally the way I want, but they were right out of the watch list. VERU and PHIO. Multi-day bounces. Worked out beautifully. We'll get into it right now. I lured them. They were my main watches, which is what I was kind of pumped about today. Not kind of stretching myself too thin with a bunch of them and only one or two working out. And then here we had, right here, top watches. Both of them looking for that 10-15% PHIO VERU. Both multi-day bounces. And that was amazing planning. We'll start off with PHIO. This one disappointed me because I really should have. I was preparing since last night, mentally preparing for this. I was ready to put like 5,000 shares in this, ride it for 15 to 20 cents, and call it a day. But that is not what happened. I took a fifth of that position, just a quick starter, 132 as it was holding up here, and just failed to get in on the higher lows here and whatnot. That's totally my mistake. It was holding trend. I just had SBFM from yesterday kind of in the back of my mind. Yeah. Oops, wrong chart. Excuse me. Yesterday I had that little fake out yesterday, and I really needed it to let it develop a little more. But that wasn't the case today, and yesterday was just kind of stuck in my head. Even though I ended up making money on it, I just didn't want to mistime this with a bunch of size and take myself out for the day. But yeah, so that was unfortunate, but took 1,000 shares, 132, sold at 147, right near the highs, just beautiful. 2% from it. Um, so we had 150 whole dollar, half dollar resistance level. Plus, I usually account for these how much I expect them to kind of run, since the average is right around 30%. I usually just take the previous close, figure out what 30% would be if it ran, and I'll be eyeing that area or like right below it as a place to sell into. And today that worked out beautifully. 157 would have been 30% from the 121 previous close. And once I saw that was failing at 150, volume was kind of getting extended here, getting a little exhausted. So when it failed to break out even higher, quickly smacked it for a sell, got out 147, and that was a play. Right now, it hasn't even seen that level since. It did what I wanted. And the entry, let me get into the entry and the exits too. With the multi-day bounce, I'm looking for something like this, and I'll go over it on VERU because VERU was a good example as well. But you get a quick morning perk just showing some signs of a momentum shift, and the confirmation of the momentum shift is the break of that high. Because usually when you got plays that are fading and they're on the backside, they're just breaking to new lows, not going up. So that's just showing who has kind of the upper hand. And in this case, bulls had the upper hand here when it came back. Short started figuring out here. It kind of died off with volume. Seemed like both sides weren't sure what was going to happen. Some indecision. It was a little choppy. But then short started covering, and we get the more aggressive move to the mid ones. And that's kind of it. In the sell, like I mentioned, I'm looking for what 25-30% right around there. Trying to figure out that level to keep that in mind as a selling area or right below it. So PHIO worked out beautifully, just failed to have the size in there to really emphasize on the play. And then we had VERU. Oh, coming back. Whoa, okay. The bounce will continue, it looks like. Recent runner taken off. Also didn't have insane size in this, just what was 150 shares at 1064. And the reason I was buying there was the high break here was 1069, it looked like 1068. That was the high of the moment. Got lucky with the lower average as it was kind of chopping around in here. Decided to take it as it was holding up, and we got the strong move. And my mistake here was not letting the chart develop. So this selling here in this toppiness action, I don't know why I saw it as a definite top. That doesn't need to be true. If just because it's failing in the moment, especially after a little push, doesn't mean that it's gonna fail. It needs to dip. It needs to show that it's holding, show some strength after a decent move that it just had from 10, right around 15, 16% move, all in the matter of 10, 15 minutes. It needs to pull back. People are gonna start taking profits, betting against it, and this higher low was really the key, but I just failed to recognize it, and I saw this as a double top with a lot of selling, failure to head higher, but I didn't account for just because it's not heading higher now doesn't mean that it's just gonna be destroyed. So that was just a rookie mistake on my part, just thinking of the money, wanting to be up. So when I saw that I wasn't up, and I already had a decent trade on the day, didn't want to really give it up or anything if it were to come back and bite me in the ass, so decided to sell while I was up 1064 to 1123, and it did end up continuing, giving the solid move that I wanted, getting stuff right around 12, and this thing is going to head higher likely, still up only 22% with some strong volume now. Double bottom, failing to break down, higher low, holding VERU up, just uptrending. So seems like with this pattern, I kind of have to trade it a little bit outside of my comfort zone and really be more patient. And as long as the trend is holding, the volume will follow. I usually don't like to wait for volume to come. That's not how I approach plays, but I guess with the psychology here, with the way this has already spiked and whatnot, it is kind of a waiting game to see when the shorts are going to start covering their position to give you the rip. And that will only happen if they notice the trend is not heading in their favor. So, yeah, that's those two. This one just, totally regret the way I traded this. But still, decent play, up 238 on the day. Can't complain about that. Recognized these early from the watch list yesterday. Was mentally trading PHIO in my sleep pretty much. Dreaming about it. Just excited for the morning, waiting for it to come, expecting this move to happen. Just kind of sucks I didn't emphasize on it. But nonetheless, good moves. And proud to recognize it, and those being my only watches working out. Another play that I tweeted about not too long ago, right before the spike, and it was right out of the watch list. Adder here. Resistance levels 580, 630, 7. Oh, this is working beautifully right now. Look at that. Resistance levels 580, holding right now. So if we keep holding right around the after hours high here, it held the 493 breakout. Sorry, let me get into this actually. So we got a move here. We got this breakout, sets the high, and then it comes back yesterday to break the 493 high. Did it late day, totally missed it. Took off a little bit after hours, but then failed to continue. And my plan from yesterday was, if this fails to break down, holds the breakout level right around 5, and we start coming back, this could be a decent play for a continuation of the breakout. And just some levels to keep in mind: 580, 630, and 7. Right now we're holding 574 just perfectly right below 580. And this is holding, kind of making a range here, holding right around 550. If this continues to fail lower, I might be buying into a higher low, risking off the 540 area here for it to test 630. But yeah, nice to see this also work out here. Jared, the other Pack-a-Punch trader, he took this just small size from 505 to 562. He had his trend lines drawn up, and once he saw the reversal here in the low fives, as well as keep in mind that's an open price hold as well, and a red to green at 5. So a couple things lined up for this as well. You get the quick move. So just a beautiful play. It is a bit of a larger float than I typically would trade, but with the volume that this thing does and recognizing how it's been moving recently, I'm okay with going into it. It's proven that it can move and offer a play. So that's the morning for today, Wednesday, April 13th. Couple good plays. Let me go back over them. PHIO, it did the predictable part of the move. It could possibly head higher, but I'm not interested. So I'm good off that. And then we got VERU. Ooh, topping out here. Okay, so this one right around the 24%, 25% mark, right around that. We'll see how this works out. Might continue higher and try to make a breakout tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But yeah, right out of the watch list, predictable plays. I go over them many times, going over them now again. How I trade the multi-day bounce. Just waiting for these supernova parabolic plays to let shorts take over, get at least a red day in there so they are in control. And then from there, just look for the momentum shift, and the volume will follow it when they start covering. And we saw it with PHIO today and VERU. Another one I'm waiting for. Let's see if it did it, and I forgot about it. Nope, IMTE. This thing is just unbelievable. Still waiting for this to. It is tightening up, so a few days ago I said any day, sometime this week, it should probably make a move. I might be wrong. We'll see what happens. We still have tomorrow. But this is so far off its highs. It is bound to bounce. People got to start covering soon at some point. If it just fails to head lower, buyers got to come in and start supporting it at some point. But yeah, so what a day. Wish I traded VERU better, emphasized more on both of the plays I had. But good lessons and good calls. We'll just wrap it up there. Check out our Twitter at Pack-a-Punch Traders. Get alerts like this, daily and throughout the day for anything that's popping up on the scanner that wasn't on the watch list. And check out tradecaster.com. We got these trades live earlier today, or yeah, like an hour ago. And we'll be heading live again very soon, probably around 8:30, 11:30 East Coast. But yeah, so check that out. If you like this video, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And yeah, that's a wrap. We'll make another video lesson later on the whole day.